preppers do want people to be ready.
Even the government says you should have cash on hand, a couple weeks worth of medical supplies, your medicine.
Because if disaster does strike, you will have to deal with it, ready or not.
The object of this weekend's exercise is I've finally made my winter bug out bag, okay? It's not my little Hazard 4 go bag with the little emergency sleeping blanket. This is a proper winter one for a minimum of 72 hours or 3 days. At a pinch you could make it last 5 days or forever if you really had to, okay? There's no extras put into this bag, and I'm basically replicating a scenario where I'm going to and from work and I'm wearing the same clothes, okay? I'm not wearing any outdoor kit, pretty much. The weather's a bit of a crap one this weekend, which makes it ideal, really, because, you know, there's no point testing your kit in ideal conditions, because living in the UK, we can get 4 seasons in one day. It's that changeable. The temperature seems to look like it's getting down to, feels like, about 5 or 6 degrees, which is quite cold of late. The UK has been experiencing some mild conditions over the last 2 months at least, okay? We haven't really had any winter. In fact, it's almost spring, the daffodils are coming out, it's gone berserk, alright? But it is absolutely saturated. It's been raining a lot, and if anyone's been keeping up to date with the weather in the UK, they're going to understand it's going to be pretty bad in there. So, without further ado, let's just act like it's really happened. I've had to leave the vehicle for some reason, and I've got to get out on foot. Okay, I'm out of the vehicle now, and the first thing I need to do is to get my Go Smock. Now the Go Smock lives on the back seat of my car, so first thing before anything I'll get that on. That has got the bare basics, okay? So if I didn't have time to get my bag, that should get me through, okay? Right, we've got the Bergen on. It's already got the cover on ready, okay? Because I've had to change cameras, so the sound's going to be different because the rain has started and I didn't want to ruin my other camera. So before you make off on your trek, you have to make sure that all of your kit is secured, okay? If you have to run and it's not, and it's going to be flopping around, you could be in big trouble, okay? So if you have got time, just double check everything's nice and tight, alright? Like this. Because you want it firmly on your back. You don't want nothing flopping around, as they say. So a complete 360. Let's get in there. Wow. Yes, we've had a bit of rain. Okay, we're so lucky that the rain stopped. That's a miracle, mate, honestly. I mean, I was hoping it was going to be quite heavy because I just wanted to see how I got on, you know, finding a good spot and setting everything up in the wind and rain. But, hey ho, be careful what you wish for, eh? So, on the whole, the forest doesn't look too bad. I've seen it a lot worse than this, so I suppose we're quite blessed really, which is nice. And another thing, twig alert, always move at a pace which you're comfortable with, okay? Don't try and go as fast as you can if you're out of shape, because it's only a matter of time before you have to stop. So try and pace yourself, yeah? It didn't take me long, it took me about a minute. Then I just got my pace right and we're at a nice walkable speed, alright? The stream's quite swollen, definitely. And I think this down tree has moved downwards. Wow, I've never had to duck under it before. You always had to just walk normally under it. You can see in the background there. So of course, when you've got high winds and everything's soaking wet, the trees come down quite easy, so just be wary of that. But I'll tell you what, it's sure great to be back in my stream, as muddy and as flooded as it is. Right, let's go and get ourselves tucked out of the way a bit. Okay, it's taken about 20 minutes, but we finally made the trek, and that's my old shelter which I've just left. I'll come back to that and get that fixed up one of these days, but I'm just going to stay here, okay? And the reason being, it's nice and flat, the trees are evenly spaced, and we're not too far from water. Right, okay, so first things first, when I was driving in the car I had that lightweight fleece on. So because we're going to be doing a bit of work now, I think it's a good idea to take it off, because you're just going to sweat, alright? It's not good. And then we're going to put the smock back on. I like to keep my smock on all the time, okay? It's got my stuff in it. If I have to leave camp for whatever reason or get lost, I'll be fine, okay? I might do a separate video just on the contents of this smock, alright? It really is a get out of jail free card, alright? So yeah, let's get that on and get a shelter set up, because the rain could come at any minute, alright? Okay, the bergen cover's working a treat. Keeps your bergen nice and dry, okay? Even in the most heavy downpours, it's always good investing in a half decent quality bergen cover, alright? Right, first thing, I'm not going to go through everything in the bergen, right? We're going to be here forever, because there's a lot of items in there. But the first thing I've done is I've put my poncho, okay? It's an old trick, it's the same old rule, okay? If you'll get caught out in bad weather and you're incorrectly dressed, you want to get a wet weather clothing very quickly. 2 clips, and it's there. It folds away in its own sack. It's a Dutch camouflage poncho. It's ripstop, very lightweight, and it's not Gore-Tex, so you won't get wet, alright? I haven't decided to seal it inside because I wanted quick access, alright? Okay, the next thing on the top of here is my dry sack. That's going to make sure that most of your kit is going to be dry. And the same old rule, put a little flashlight toggle to it, okay? Just helps you set up in the dark if you need to. Got Berghaus liner, keeps it all in there. The first thing you should take out of your kit, in my own opinion, is your shelter. Now I'm trying something new today, looks a bit odd, tethered together, but all become apparent in a minute. So that's the first thing we take out, alright? It's not heavily raining, so that goes back on the top. Okay, but before we set the shelter up, it may seem a bit of a pain to most guys out there, but it really is worth taking that little bit of extra time, okay? Everything is back in the bergen, apart from the shelter set up, okay? That's the only thing I'm going to need. But before we carry on and build the shelter, we're just going to put the cover back on. What that's going to actually do is, if I'm setting my shelter up and it starts to hack it down my brain, I haven't got to stop what I'm doing, come back and waterproof the bergen, right? It's all done, ready. It didn't take no time at all, but it's a very, very important lesson to learn, okay? Make sure you keep everything waterproof as much as you can. Okay, we've got our DPM British issue basher, okay? And that really is my all-time favourite, okay? I've gone right off of MTP. Personally, I think MTP is great if you're in arid or desert areas like Afghan or Iraq, but here in the UK, you do stand out like a sore thumb in British woodland, especially when it's damp, okay? So, best rule of thumb is get camo, which has been made for your forces in your own country. Makes sense. Okay, this is a DPM bag that a friend of mine made. Now what we've got inside here is everything's been done ready. This is all IPK individual protection kit. They're tent pegs, for want of a better term. They're aluminium, they're light, they're strong, and they're pointed, and they're very easy to get in and out of the ground, okay? Especially if you're on boggy ground, because they're nice and long, as you can see. Everything's been pre-tied to each fixing corner of the basher. Now, this isn't my idea. I got this from, it's a good friend of mine, and I haven't seen a lot of him lately because he lives so far away, but Paul Shovel Recce, got the idea from him, okay, so it's not my idea. And I'm going to try it for the first time to see how it gets on, alright? It seems like a brilliant idea. So let's get it up now, just in case that rain hammers down, shall we? Okay, there she is laid out, so you can see it nice and easy. It's directly in the midpoints of the two trees that I'm going to be using. Alright, so what we have is we have probably about 18 inches of space between the edge of the basher and the start of the peg. They're all paracorded, they're all exactly the same distance, okay? And they're all tied to each corner and side midpoints of the basher. Now, foot and head end, we have some pre-tied thin bungee cord with some hooks on the end. So the idea is it's quick and easy, okay? At a pinch, it really is grab and go, okay? It was a bit of a faff getting it out of the bag where the pegs kept jingling around, wrapping around each other, but I'll have to think of something about that. But for all intensive purposes, it seems to be okay so far. What I'm going to do is attach it to each point of the tree first. Once I've got the right height, then I'm just going to guy out the corner. Okay, so that really didn't take too long at all. Spot on actually, which is part of the appeal, nice and quick and simple. It's looking like that's the sort of height I've got off of the floor, alright? What we're looking for is a relatively good angle so rain can run off and to give us a 360 view all the way around from under the basher, okay? If I'm totally honest, I'm not really big on tents. I do prefer vision, okay? I like to see stuff. I don't like to be enclosed because you're at risk, alright? So, without further ado, let's peg her out and get her just right. Well, there she is. It didn't take too long. And for you guys who haven't done this sort of thing before, when you do each corner, you peg it all out. It's fine. You do the top. Don't be afraid to revisit each corner and move it, okay? And eventually you'll end up nice and taut. It's like a snare drum. It's pretty cool. Nice and low profile, which is what I'm after. Want to be out of the way. A nice bit of airflow. 360. All I'm going to do now is go underneath and just double check that I've got all of the stones and bits and pieces out of the way, and then get the burgan under there. Job done. But I almost forgot, before we stick the burgan underneath, don't have to take it all off obviously. Trying to remember where you've put all of your kit, alright? Now I know in this pocket I've got my water kit, but it's the same old rule, you know, everything like a warm hat, okay, sealed in a bag on top, so you haven't got to go inside anything. It's at the hand nice and quick, alright? So if you do lose your hat and it's getting cold, it's not going to take too long to get your hat on, alright? Collect some water, alright? Very important. And obviously I've got my filter bottle. That has got water in there already, okay? That's all of the water I'm carrying is 500 mils. It's around about a pint, okay? But it's the same old rule, okay? What you're not using, stow it away, put it back in there, get it all covered up. And yes, there was some water purification tablets popped out earlier. I've just put those back in for all my eagle-eyed viewers. Right. That's on. It's recovered. So now we're going to make the trek to get some water. And I've actually trialled this on the Brecon Beacons, and it's an excellent accessory to your kit, okay? It folds up, it weighs nothing, and it collects 96 ounces of water, however much that is. So it's got a nice wide neck. This is filled with dirty water. There is no dirty water whatsoever going to go into my mug and cook set, okay? Everything's going to be filtered. Even if it's boiling a bag, I'm going to filter it, okay? That's just the way I am. I like to keep my eating and drinking vessels clean at all times. So, let's go and get some water. Alright, we're at the stream and it's, as you can see, it's pretty rank. So it's not going to matter what way you fill your canteen with, okay? So luckily we've got that nice big gripper there. I'll just hold the cap, alright? Definite art to this. Alright, we got a few bits of debris, as they call it, in there, but it doesn't matter. Yes, we're going to be drinking that, but obviously not from here. So let's go back to camp. Okay, now we've set the shelter up, we've procured our water. First thing to do before we go for a little scat around is to rehydrate, okay? Now it's so easy to forget this, and it's important that you don't, okay? Take on as much as you can, alright? Much as what you need. This is obviously just tap water in it, it's fine. But when this goes, obviously we're going to be using the Nalgene canteen to fill this up, and we're just going to squirt it out, job done. So now we've rehydrated, I'm just going to get my gloves on, or get them on my person, and we're going to go for a walk to see if we can find a bit of firewood, because everything just seems absolutely saturated. But we're not going to give up, we're going to try and have a small fire tonight, okay? And I know it's wet and horrible, but the part of this video is for me to train, okay? Get out of your comfort zone, doesn't matter what the weather is, and just try, okay? That's the only way you're going to learn. So come with us, let's go and get some firewood from somewhere. Okay, the Bergen is all stored underneath, as you can probably see. What I've done is I've stowed away the water containers inside there. It's just the colour of it, okay? Obviously, if you're looking for someone, anything that stands out you're going to walk towards. So anything that's nice and green and the same colours as your settings, the better. So it's nice and low profile there, and we're out of the way. Let's go for a walk. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change cameras, okay, because it looks like the weather's turning to my favour. It's not going to rain after all. So rather than use this waterproof camera with the bad sound quality, I'm just going to get my other camera out. So I just thought I'd explain that in case, you know, you're thinking, what's going on with the sound? Well, that's the reason why. So over to the next camera now. New camera. Okay, we're on a different camera now, so you can probably tell the sound's a bit different. Maybe the vision, I don't know. But before we go, I can't help myself, I just had to do it just quickly, okay? Just quickly, just chuck some twigs over it, just to break up the outline just a little bit. It might not be perfect, but it might just be enough if someone did happen to come within about 80 feet or so, and you know, they might not see it. So it's better than nothing, I guess. Wow, check it out. Got to be careful. I'll tell you what, it sure is great to be outdoors, people. And I don't know what it is. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not with the weather. You know, when the Met Office in the UK forecast heavy rain, and for some reason it doesn't come, that truly is a blessing. But this really is, this is swamp. This is really taking on some water, big time. Well, look at this. All the dead wood you could possibly want. Amazing. There is literally deadfall everywhere. There must have been some big winds to blow all this stuff down. And it's our friends Mr. Birch Polypore again. Yeah, they really do love dead, damp environments, guys. Yeah, we're not going to find anything dry out here, guys, not a chance. But every now and again, if you keep your eyes peeled, some nice people, for whatever reason, maybe the same as us, leave some branches and stuff hanging up or standing upright. Look, breaks nice and clean. Even in wet weather, okay? Stuff like this is brilliant, and I know a lot of it looks wet, but no, the wind has really dried this out. So we're going to be taking some of that for sure. Wow, can you see what I can see? How lucky is this? A nice big lump of silver birch, which is long since died. And yes, that is some serious polypore right there. That's easily 7 inches across, okay? So if you need any medication, you can cut strips of plasters out of that. If you want to dry it out, sharpen your knife, etc. I've mentioned it in other videos, but that's for the benefit of the newcomers. So we're going to get some of that bark for sure. Right, we're going to use the EDC, which is the Swiss Army soldier. Reground, taking all them stupid serrations off. In fact, you might not even need it. No, I didn't need it for that. But this looks like a nice big chunk there. Because it's so wet everywhere, I'm going to take a lot more than I actually need, okay? Because this is a surefire, okay? Once you've got some, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 inch flames going, looking quite consistent, for me this is the stuff I like to put on, okay? It really does take it to that next level. And of course, you'd be a mug not to collect all of this. So that's all I'm going to be doing now. I'm not going to show you all of it because it'll be here all day, but I'm just going to harvest loads of this birch bark. And there's loads of this in the woods, okay? So this isn't the only supply. So there's plenty to go around, alright? Okay, down on the floor, I think we've got enough birch bark for what we need. I don't really bother about taking the bag with me. Because it's damp, I've opened my smock up, and some of you might know, but if you turn your smock up on the inside like this, do it up, you've got a big pocket on the inside. Now, all I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting all of this lovely wet and damp birch bark. And it is lovely and wet, okay? Don't waste it. Don't be a sissy, just get it in there, okay? Once it's in there, and you're walking around, your body heat will start to not draw it out completely, but it's going to be a lot better than what it was if you put it on flames, soaking wet, okay? Just makes sense. Well, let's go and find some fuel. Okay, whilst we're on the lookout for some wood, we're going to be burning tonight, hopefully. You remember me saying about the reason why I put my Nalgene canteen into my Bergen cover out the way, because any wrong colour will stand out? Well, I was just walking along, and it's literally about 90 degrees to my left. Can you see that? Absolutely stood out like a sore thumb. And that's just a blue carrier bag. I've got no idea who put it there, why it's there, but that just goes to show you, alright? Really pay attention and don't have the loud colour stuff lying around, because you will see it and it will attract attention, as did me. That's why I'm going to go over there now and see what it is. Because man, I've got no idea what that is. There's quite bits of wood hanging around here, which is excellent. This looks like a little deer trail as well, and I do know there's some deer up about this part of the world. So there you go. Wow, check it out. It's a tarpaulin, albeit ripped. I've got no idea what it is. Let's have a look. Someone's definitely tried to hide it and weight it down with a piece of wood. It tells me something's on purpose here. Nope. It's just the blue tarpaulin. So we're going to put that back exactly how we left it, okay? There's no reason to disturb that. And if someone thinks they're the only ones here, the advantage is to let them believe that, okay? Right, let's crack on. Okay, this don't look too bad. I might actually drag this back because we're only probably about 80 yards away. Now, it looks pretty manky and horrible, but you just do the old test. You find something and it snaps clean, like this, you shouldn't overlook it, okay? So we're gonna drag that back now. And yes, I know I should be wearing gloves, but I'm going to see how we get on without, okay? Yep. You've got to be quiet and still. Now, we're just going to keep low, keep still, keep quiet, okay? And I'm going to give it at least 10 minutes, alright? There's no point waiting for 10 seconds and carry on. Okay, it's still over there, not too far away. So we've got really down low. Luckily we're already in cover. And if this was real, I'll be wearing can cream and gloves on my hands, because this white face will stand out, okay? And I have actually got that in my bug out bag, which is unusual because I don't see many people carrying camo cream, right? Because you're not always going to be able to grab a handful of mud off the floor and darken your face, right? So whether or not that guy's got something to do with that blue tarpaulin, don't know. But we're just going to continue to stay here, nice and quiet and still, low down. Right, we've been about 10 minutes and it's been very quiet, so I'm guessing the guy's long gone, okay? It seems to be following the path north-northeast in that direction, so I think we're okay to move, but on the air of caution now, because we do know that we're not the only ones in here, okay? Furthermore, while I'm here, this great big lump of deadfall, which I found on the floor earlier, which is reasonably okay, what I discovered was it's probably best, if you are going to drag it along existing paths or tracks, okay? Don't go through any virgin ground dragging it, because you're just going to be making it easy for people to follow you, okay? If you do need to take it across ground which has no tracks or paths, carry it or lift it off, okay? And just be careful where you tread. Thinking about not leaving any marks on the floor, alright? Anything that makes someone's job hard to track you, you know, just be wary of it. This is, as I say, this is training for me, okay? This isn't just getting out for a bit of peace and quiet. I'm trying to revisit old skills and see how I get on. But the plus side for me is the weather. If this was heaving with rain, this would be a bit more challenging, should we say. This birch bark's nice and warm. Right, I think we're safe to move. Okay, let's go. Okay, we're doing well by dragging that across the tracks there. Not a problem. And I'm going to have to do something, because look at that shape, it stands right out. So the background's good, but I am going to need to cover that up, because you're going to see that. So let's get that done as soon as possible. Okay, so we've been getting busy, and it's turned out quite well because I decided not to use my gloves. Pure simple reason, I wanted to see how I fared without them in case they got lost. Just go slower just to make sure, don't get cuts, etc. All we've done is we've just put the deadfall screening across the front, okay? Now all that's going to do is not make it stand out as much as it did, alright? And I'll bring it a bit closer to show you some more refinements I've done as well. Okay, so there's the deadwood screen, and I'm just going to be picking bits and pieces off of that. Got some holly. Now, where I got the holly from was away from where I am now, okay? I want to use holly to my advantage, okay? And what we've got here is, because I've been putting some wet leaves on the top to try and take away that colour, alright? And make it a bit more 3D, if you will. I've just got some sticks or wide branches, and I've just propped up a bit, because what happens, the more foliage you put on your basher, it's going to sink down and you're not going to have too much space inside. And I've just done it on there, as you can see. The end one didn't need it, but these two, it's great because it gives me more field of view as well. I can see out a bit more. Alright, so far so good. Now I've got all the firewood I need, I've got the water I need. I'm going to bring that chopping block over, because that just makes life so much easier. And if you're lucky enough to find a stump or a chopping block in the middle of nowhere, you are doing very well. Okay, I've just been inside. There's to make these gloves for. I had to dig them out of the bag in the end because it was getting too dodgy with all of the brambles on the floor. Now what I've done is all of the inside of the floor is relatively level. All of the twigs, branches, stones, knobbly bits, etc. have all been cleared out of the way, okay? Now that is all in preparation for later on when the ground sheet goes down, and there's going to be minimal risk of it getting punctured, torn, etc. And also aids for a better night's sleep. You haven't got stones digging in your back, etc. So that's life inside the basher. And it's nice and low profile, that's how I like it. In fairness, I'm not big on hammocks. It's each to their own really. I think they're great to relax in, but for if you're bugging out for real, the last thing you want to be doing is hanging up in the air in a hammock where everyone's going to see you and you're going to get shot, and you won't be able to get out and run off quickly. You're going to be a sitting duck. So this setup is just for the simple reason you can just grab it and run off. Okay. Someone asked me about this recently, and yes, I still use it, and yes, it's still working fine. At the moment it's charging up my waterproof camcorder, okay, because I've got a feeling we will get some rain at this weekend, so I want to make sure I can film what I can, okay? Okay, need to get some calories, okay, so food time. Knife, fork and spoon. This happens to be a 511 pouch. Pretty handy actually, it's quite padded, so I'll keep all of my cook kit in here, alright? We've got a backup cooker. Now I highly recommend that everyone carries some sort of backup cooker, alright? I'm going to be rethinking this one. It's just a BCB stove, okay? It's nothing flash, it's just a cheap little stove, and you can adjust it for any sort of cup size. Now, after previous experience with the Esbit, I might have to rethink that and just put some hexi blocks in a hexi stove, okay? Because apparently, once these get damp, they're shit, alright? So I don't want to be having to go for anything like that. My stove of choice, first on YouTube I haven't shown this, that's my stove, just absolutely love it, okay? All it is my Firebox Nano stove. Now I've got a trioxane bar in there just in case, so if we do get really bad weather I need something quick. And that is just a piece of tin foil, probably out of an apple pie or something years ago. Worth their weight in gold, okay? Always worth consider that. It's there for a reason, which will become apparent in a sec. Here's my little stove, okay? Now this is the stainless steel ones, it's slightly quite heavy for the size. You can get titanium ones, apparently. But what I love about this is it's so quick and simple, alright? There is
quite a few fireboxes out there, but they all seem to come in parts. We have to slot them together. Personally, I'm not a fan in case one or some get lost or an end bends and you can't fit it together. This is so quick and simple, alright? It's just a reoccurring theme in my kit. I love things that are quick and simple to use. Now that's all that really is, okay? Now, obviously, I've got some emergency drinking water. That is only if you really have to, okay? Fire dragon. Now, one of the reasons why I decided to take these, okay, is these are quick, easy to light in all conditions, and I've actually proved that. They work in dire weather, and I'm not exaggerating, okay? Some seen them before, some haven't, but they're all sealed, and they're very well sealed. There's you know, there's not much chance of them actually coming undone unless you pack them in correctly, okay? So being in a steel mug, they're not going to get damaged at all like that. I've just got 6 in there. Alright, now I'm only going to be using those if I really have to. Obviously if I'm in the woods, I'm going to be using the resources around me. But the best thing about these, they give off no smell, hardly any smoke at all, and they're quick. Alright, so obviously if you are doing something, you don't want to attract any attention at all, that's what you want, something nice and easy. Okay, same rule of thumb, all of the stuff that you're not going to be using, put it back in the box, stow away in a bargain. Right, all we got is what we're going to be needing. Now all this is a very cheap, lightweight container. When I was shopping recently, it's just one of those poncy little gourmet cat dinners. There's like 30 or 40 pence. So for, you know, I don't mind paying that for the little tin. It's lightweight as anything, it doesn't weigh anything. And of course my cat had a nice little treat. So all that does is that just sits in there. Fire dragon, whether it's gel or the bars, they will exude, they will just burn and spread and go everywhere. So if I drop that fire dragon into this stove without any sort of container at all, it will just go through to the floor, go all everywhere, and it's not good, okay? So all we're going to be doing is just one of those lightweight containers just to contain the gel, alright? That's just going to sit inside there. Okay, pretty straightforward. All you're going to be doing is having a Mountain House mill. So that's 350 mils of water, give or take, with a lid on. Fire dragon in this pot. I always keep a backup lighter in with the fire dragons, okay, just in case you need to light it with ease, okay? So lighters are so small, so versatile, they don't weigh anything, it's worth keeping, okay? So hopefully that is going to be enough to boil that water. Okay, because this is all being trialled for the first time, I've decided to raise that pot nearer to the cup, okay? It just didn't make sense, it sitting right down there, so that's a lesson learned. It doesn't have to be straight, it's not going to spill out of air, but just my little knife is good enough to do that. And obviously try and shield the wind. Not far off. No smell whatsoever. Well, that's the first. The truth is that block burnt out before 350 mils of water actually boiled. That's a major learning curve for me. I'm going to dump the water in anyway. And yes, I have taken the oxygen absorber out. Okay. Just going to give that a mix up. That's shocking, really. Maybe if I put a proper windbreaker around it all, it would have been okay. But nonetheless, you know, that is a major concern. So, you know, that's an important thing to remember actually. Hence, you know, this video, making sure things actually work. I mean, after that, I might not carry them in my bug out bag. All right, might be after Hexy after all. So it is important to test stuff first. Okay, don't buy loads of brand new stuff, store it away in a bag, things that you've never used. You know, it could be disastrous. All right, so we're going to let that sit for about 10 minutes out of the way of the wind, and yeah. Not impressed. Okay, while we just put the food down to start working. Remember all the birch bark we collected earlier? Well, it's still in my smock after all of the work I've been doing. So it just makes a bit of sense. That's nice and hot. To put that in there as well. Okay. As much heat as you can, really. Look like a nice fat bloke, but who cares? See, I was planning on doing a separate video on this, and what this is doing this sort of thing, especially for real. Okay, one of the things I do see on time to time on some YouTube videos is it's not a fashion parade. Okay, it's not all about looking cool and all the rest of it. It doesn't matter what you wear as long as you keep warm if it's cold, all the rest of it. So don't be too perturbed about getting dirty, and you know, my legs are covered in mud and stuff, and so it's bits of me coat, but it doesn't matter because we're outdoors. All right. Now, yeah, that's all I needed to say was don't worry about what you look like. All right, who cares? At the end of the day, you're all nice and warm, or you should be. So yeah, we'll just give that another like 5 or 6 minutes, and we'll be eating. Top drawer. Okay, food should be done. It's been on there a good 10 minutes. All right. Ooh. Nice and warm. Tuck shop's open. Okay, we got pasta with lasagna. Okay. Now, what I've had to consider with this bug out bag is the weight of it. Right. Now, if you was to carry food for yourself, the right amount of calories for 72 hours, if it's all wet food, it's very heavy. I mean, very heavy. So all I've done is I've done about 70% of it is dehydrated food, and the other 30% is just boiling the bag stuff ready done. Okay, so I'd just like to mix it up a bit. I don't want to do all just this. All right. So and another thing I would like to say while I'm here is, you know, when you're packing food for your bug out bag, all right, don't be thinking. At 12 o'clock I want to stop what I'm doing and sit down and have something to eat. It doesn't work like that, okay? Just eat when you can, sleep if you have to, or vice versa, whatever way you want to run it really. But it'd be interesting to see if this actually works, because it wasn't actually boiling. It wasn't far off. I should imagine another 3 minutes it would have started to boil, okay? But it's still very, very hot. Alright, so making sure it's all properly mixed. Now, at the end of the day, it's just calories, and for me, Mountain House is pretty good. There's no rubbish in there. It's all natural food, all right? So obviously, you get what you pay for, okay? You can get like really cheap food, loads of calories, but if you look what's in there, it's just mainly fat, salt, okay? This is a good balance. Right, enough of me waffling on. I'm just going to have something to eat and have a bit of a rest, I think, because it's good to rest now and again, okay? Because you will burn yourself out. Well, this actually works. So that's another thing we found out. Your water doesn't have to be boiling to reconstitute as food. No, I don't know if you can see that, but it's delicious. Really is good, actually. I don't know if you can see that, but there is no rubbish in there. It's real food, which is a pleasant change in this day and age, isn't it? No preservatives and E-numbers and crap in there. Low MSG. That's good stuff. Well, these little nano fireboxes are brilliant. I really love these. Okay, they're so quick and easy. All right, doesn't take no time. Takes up no room, and it's more than enough to use with your container. Okay. Now, my preferred container of choice has been for many years now is the BCP Crusader mug. All right, I can eat drink boiled water in this. The only thing I can't do is transport water. So I'm thinking it's not really a problem if I can't transport water in it, because I can transport water in this. Alright. So I was considering getting jumping on a bandwagon and getting like a stainless steel bottle like everyone else, but I really can't stop using these canteen mugs. I think they're brilliant. The only downside is the weight, obviously, because it's stainless steel, but I'd rather have that than aluminium any day of the week. Aluminium, nah. The only thing I've got that's aluminium left is the Tranger mess kit, but it's so hard to get the stainless steel ones. They're just ridiculous. I really tried. I think Sandy's got one. I don't know where he got his from. Lucky git. But yeah. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of aluminium, but obviously the downside is the weight. But it will last an absolute lifetime. Okay. There's another little quick tip I've just discovered. Rather than sitting down on a damp horrible log and to keep getting pieces of material out, etc. Stuff you got on your person all the time, like your gloves, I usually keep one of my trouser side pockets. Wet side down, dry side up, sit on them, no problem at all. Okay, so now we've taken on some calories and we've had some water as well. Everything's good. The shower is pretty much ready. All we need to do is to put the stuff inside it, but we're only going to be doing that when we're going to be needing to do so. So if I did have to leave straight away, my bag's there already and water. All I'm going to leave behind is my basher, but if I needed to, I could just pull it straight out of the ground and we're gone. Okay. The old habit is to get your sleeping bag out and all everything ready, but you know, if you did have to leave quickly, you'd have to leave it behind because you wouldn't have time to get it all in your bag. Okay, so it's a bit of a training session, but there we go. Doing it this way, you're constantly doing stuff. Okay, you're forever going in and out of the bag, putting stuff away, taking stuff out. You're always checking around, making sure you know everything's nice and safe, and when everything's sorted, it's always good just to have a little walk around just to see if there's anyone else about. Okay. I'm not sure what to do now. I'm tempted to get some of that firewood broken up ready, but I'm not sure. It's acting as quite a good screen. I think what I might do is wait for it to get a bit darker. As it's getting mid-dusk, I'll start breaking it up then. I don't want to be breaking up in the dark because the sound's going to travel, and I don't want to be breaking it up now because I'm going to lose my sort of screen cover. So that's how I'm thinking. We've been having quite a bit of shooting. It is the season, but we're all good where we are now. And yeah, as I said before, we're really blessed with the weather turning out to be dry, but I suspect before I go home, we're going to get some rain.